I recently crossed $10,000 in Amazon commissions in the last 30 days doing the Amazon influencer program. And this is just commissions created from Amazon. It does not include the other different ways I make money from the program. And today I wanted to cover 5 different things I made mistakes on that prevented me from getting here quicker. To be clear, I've been making over 10K every month through all the different aspects of the business, whether it's reselling, eBay, brand deals, all that kind of stuff. But the goal was always to get 10K in just Amazon commissions. Hopefully I'm on pace to do 12K if things continue to go how they are. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is an absolute banger. The middle 3 are going to be great. And the last one is going to be my biggest mistake. One of my biggest regrets. I actually thought it was one of my biggest strengths, and it turned out to hold me back. So the first one is relying solely on creator connections to get products to make videos for. That was my whole strategy. Send as many messages as possible, get as many products as possible, make as many videos as possible. That turned out to be an okay strategy. But at the end of the day, getting products from different sources, 1, investing in products, 2, going to Airbnbs, 3, working with brands, whether they're paying you or not. We'll get into that a little later, but that was one of my biggest, kind of mistakes. Like it goes hand in hand, but relying just solely on creator connections as my only source, because that's something I can't control. Like I could send out a bunch of messages, and if no one writes back and no one wants to send samples, there's really not much I could do about that. But I have taken a lot of different angles to this, and I started investing in products as well. So buying them myself on Amazon, which I thought is a good fit that I think could make commissions. And that has proved to be one of my best methods to earning commissions. Now, getting free packages and all that stuff is absolutely great, and it's fun and this and that. But at the end of the day, you have to look, is it driving the needle? Is it moving the things up? What I was realizing is towards the tail end of last year, outside of Q4, I was making about the same amount of money each month. It would grow a tiny bit, and I was making, call it 150, 300 videos every single month. But what would happen is you make some videos, some take off. The ones you made the month before, they fall off, the product fails, there's no longer a carousel, whatever the situation may be. And then you're just kind of like maintaining. It's very hard to grow. But I've learned investing in products, it's very quick to grow if you pick the right products that are selling fast, that are moving. Like I'm talking like they sell at least 500 a month. Like in the past, I was like, oh, it's fine if it sells 50. That's not the case anymore. So it's very, very different for me. So just relying solely on creator connections was one of the bigger mistakes for me. Number 2 is focusing on vanity metrics. In terms of reaching out to brands, I thought, hey, like, I've generated X amount of millions of dollars for sellers. I've made, this thousands of videos. Like I thought that led to credibility, but it really came down to the fact that no one cares. These brands do not care about that. They want to know, can you make a high quality video? And if they send you this water bottle right here, it's going to look good on Amazon and you're going to make a good video for them. Whether you have 200 videos or you have 5,000 videos, they really don't care. And that was one of the big things I was like, oh, the more videos I get, the more brands that'll reach out to me, the more possible collaborations there'll be. And if I look at the brand deals month over month, they kind of stayed about the same, no matter how many videos I've had. Obviously, some people I have like long standing relations with and they keep sending me products. But for the most part, that was not the case. So, or how many packages I'm getting to look cool on social media, like that just turned out not to be the best metric and something to focus on. Number 3, saying no to brand deals that are 15, 20, sometimes even $30. This was kind of a different aspect. Like, oh man, so I'm going to make at least $20 on this video. I'm going to make at least $30 no matter what happens. And that sounded like great at the forefront, but a lot of those products do not yield any commission whatsoever. Because they're new, they're untested. And one of the big problems with that strategy is you just get paid once. You get paid $20, $30. Like, that's okay, right? But like, I guess I've just seen a different side. Like, I have a different strategy for this year. And now that I know what's capable with that strategy, like, it just makes the brand deals not a great fit. And for the major reason is it takes some time to learn about these products, make a good video. And if you know, like, you're only gonna make $20, $30 from it, and you've kind of focused on like the resell aspect of it, you know, it could hurt you in the end. And it kind of did for me, because if I'm making a brand deal video for someone else for $20 or whatever it is, I could be making a video on a product that has a much greater chance to make 10 times that much. Number 4, the flip side of that, saying no to brands that had really good products, but weren't willing to pay me to make a video for those products. So for example, someone say, hey, we're going to send you this water bottle. It sells like 10,000 times a month. And I was like, how much what's your budget for the video? Like, we don't have a budget for the video. And I was like, forget it. So short-sighted there. Like, instead of being like, oh, you know, I can only really sell this for $20 on Facebook Marketplace, like, they're not willing to pay me for it, I lost sight of actually looking at the listing and being like, hey, every time this water bottle sells, it's going to make $4 because there's a Creator Connections campaign for it. It's 20%. And damn, if I sell even 10, that's 40. If I sell 20, that's 80. Like, I just didn't think that way back then, and that really hurt me. There's a lot of products I turned down that had like high sales velocity and a high price, and I was like, no, like, I want you to give me $50. Like, I could have made $50 on one sale, but I was being kind of stubborn and maybe a little ego in there. Number 5, the last one. I built my business on this strategy the last year, and that was reselling the items. If I could get something, I was like, I could get $20 on this for Facebook Marketplace. I could get 50, I could get 100, I could get 200. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can make so much money reselling. Huge problem there. Again, very short-sighted. Just getting something to resell. Sometimes it makes sense for sure. But what I came to realize is what I would do is I would get this water bottle. Let's just say this is a bad example, but I would kind of like not use it, not open it, not put water in it, and just be like, oh yeah, it has 40 ounces. It's this, it's that, it's the other thing. And that hurt the video quality. Hence, not winning carousel placement, not getting more brand deals, all that stuff plays a role in that. But in my head, I was like, oh, I can make $20 on this. And how I know this is there are things that are selling like crazy for me right now that I was doing product research for. I'm like, oh man, this is a great fit. And then I would go to the product page and it's like, hey, you made a video for this a year ago and it is not placed in any of the carousels. And I would go back and I would look and I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, like this video, 1, kind of sucks. 2, wow, like, I think this is a great opportunity now. And I go into the completed campaigns. How much commission did I make on this? And it was like less than $10. Well, fast forward today, I ended up investing in that product, buying it. I've made over $700 on that product by making a better quality video, actually using the product, showing it in use, doing a demonstration on it. And God, like, if I would have done that a year ago, I can't even imagine how much money I would have made. And I was just so short-sighted. I was so focused on reselling the items. So not opening it, not using it, doing like kind of general talking about it, which just leads to a not so great video. Cause like, I was like, I want to say this is new open box. Like, I don't want this to have water spots on it or whatever the case would be. And I also realized that recently, another better example is a set of security cameras. Someone sent, I actually watched the whole carousel and no one actually installed the cameras. And I was like, that's interesting. And I actually know someone who was on that carousel and kind of didn't do the install or whatever. And I remember them posting, hey, I just sold this for $100 or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, wow, that's super interesting. Like, that's awesome. Like a huge sale. But the creator connections like commission for this is like $50 a sale. So back in the day, I would have done the same thing. I would have just done an unboxing. Hey, you get, I think it was like 2 cameras, you get this other thing, this is the screws it comes with. Instead, I actually did the camera, put it together, hung them up, this is what the footage looks like, all that kind of stuff. And guess what? Like, I've made probably close to $300 on that product. So while I'd be excited, like, oh, I'm going to sell this for $100, instead I was like, oh, wow, like if I could get placement on this product, I can make so much more money than just reselling it. And now that has been like a huge strategy of mine, is it's really hard for a brand to get me to make a video for them if there's no creator connections campaign, if it's not selling more than 500 units a month, because I know how powerful it is to make high quality videos for those types of products. And those are kind of the 5 major things that held me back. And I'll give you a 6th one right over here. I think the 6th one that has held me back the most, or maybe not the most, but focusing on products that sell and making high quality videos. That's all that matters. And this kind of sparked a question. I'll do a solo video about this, but someone asked me a couple days ago, and I'm friends with this person, so I don't think they're going to care that I say this, but they asked, hey, like, since you've been making better thumbnails on your videos, do you think that's been increasing your sales? And my first like kind of intuition was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, I'm definitely making like more sales because I'm doing better thumbnails. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, like the thumbnail isn't, I think the thumbnails are important. It's not make or break, but product selection is the most important. Because if no one is going to this listing, doesn't matter. No one's going to watch my video anyway, whether I have the best thumbnail, a mediocre thumbnail, or no like no one's going there. So I think that is a huge thing to keep in mind and focus on finding products that sell and making high quality videos, because all the other stuff surrounding that, whether you post it on YouTube or post it in a Facebook group and all this other stuff, or you put it on Pinterest, doesn't matter, because if the product does not sell, there's no shot to make commission on it. So none of the other stuff matters. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you want help growing your Amazon commissions, scaling up, shoot me a DM on Instagram or get my free guide. You could book a call. I'll link stuff all below of all the tools that I use and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I hope you found this video helpful. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.